By the way, of course, our U.S. troops are out there on the front lines, and there's probably no greater ally than the state of Israel. And we're really honored to have with us now the current Consul General from Israel to New York, and also someone who served in the Israeli Defense Forces, the great Consul General there in New York, Aharoni. Ambassador, thank you for being with us.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
You know, we love having you here. And, I think this also is such a great reminder, Mr. Consul General, because I think about the important partnership between America and Israel. And you guys know, I think, better than anybody about the battle against terrorism, how tough this fight is. You've experienced it firsthand, being there in the Israeli Defense Forces. Walk us through just how important it is to support our troops, whether they're in your country or our country.
Well, of course, every nation sometimes takes for granted its own independence, its own sovereignty. But the truth is that our freedom, our sovereignty, our independence, whether you're an Israeli, whether you're an American, whether you're a Brit, is really depends upon our ability to defend ourselves and protect ourselves. And so the few that make such a great contribution in order to safeguard the well-being of the collective deserve every day our gratitude, our appreciation, and our support. And as someone who served in the military, as someone who's familiar with the U.S. military, because my job in the Israeli reserves was to serve as a liaison to the U.S. Forces in the Middle East, so I'm familiar with both sides. And I know that we are, we're in the same boat when it comes to the war against global terrorism, when it comes to the need to protect our shared values, when it comes to the need to protect liberty. It was the United States that led the world in the liberation of Europe. It is the United States that is leading today the struggle to maintain democracy and freedom all over the world.
Can I just tell you, sir, that one of the things that motivates me the most is the experience that I had in 1983 when our Marines were murdered in their sleep in Beirut. And I spent a month in Lebanon and covered the aftermath of that devastation, of that suicide bomber who took a truck loaded with explosives and drove it straight into their compound in Beirut. Later, I said, I need to go to Israel, and I need to spend time in Israel to see what your perspective of the conflict is in the Middle East. And I met some of the most amazing soldiers in the Israeli Defense Forces, and they refer to themselves oftentimes as cactus. They're prickly on the outside, but soft on the inside. And that's how I think of Israel. I think of the strength that you must display at all times, 24/7, every single day of the week, but yet you must remain soft and open to the possibilities of life.
Well, that's true. We call it the sabra. Yeah, prickly from the outside, sweet from the inside. But at the end of the day, we are fighting the same fight. It's not what we do that bothers our enemies. It's what we stand for. These are the values that we celebrate. Israel has no better friend than the United States, and I believe that the United States has no better friend than Israel in that part of the world. And we need to celebrate that friendship. I think one of the ways to celebrate that friendship is to support the troops that protect you or the troops that protect us, and vice versa.
Well, Ambassador Aharoni, I also want to give you a big shout out because you are retiring after many great decades in the diplomatic service. I'm going to be coming to your farewell party in a few days, but we love you and thank you for everything you've done for our country. And I said this, you have made us just love your country so much because you've been such a great representative. Thank you for being here.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. But what a wonderful guy. And true. And it's a great reminder, too, when you think about to have somebody from the Israeli government to explain also just the fight, the intense fight that they are in every day. And you and I have both been over there in Israel and seen that firsthand. And it's such a great reminder that our troops are working and partnering with countries like this and great allies.
It's a tiny country. I mean, it's a tiny country and it's surrounded by people who hate them and want to kill them.